Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Acceptable losses. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. In the debate over the Orlando terror attack and fighting ISIS in general, both the left and the right are making major mistakes, and those mistakes are getting people killed. The so-called acceptable losses theory. Today, under heavy pressure, President Obama was forced to talk tough about the ISIS savages.
Our mission is to destroy ISIL. Since I last updated the American people on our campaign 2 months ago, we've seen that this continues to be a difficult fight, but we are making significant progress.
Well, some progress is being made in the half measures being used against the savages, but not enough progress to vanquish the jihad or even dent their murderous swagger. The President and the American left bear a good measure of responsibility for not annihilating terror threats that are ongoing and have changed our way of life. Here are the facts. The left opposes a declaration of war against radical Islamic organizations. They oppose the Patriot Act, which gives U.S. intelligence agencies more tools to blunt attacks. The left opposes tough border security measures. In fact, some in that crew even want open borders. Many on the left would not even support Kate's Law, which quickly and harshly punishes violent foreigners who defy deportation. And perhaps the greatest hypocrisy of all, instead of demanding strong punishment for criminals and terrorists who use guns, the left stands silent, and so does Mr. Obama. All they want is to obliterate the Second Amendment, which was put into the Constitution to give us the right to protect ourselves from bad people. It's the guns, not the terror threat, that really move the left.
All you people on Twitter that like to come after folks, back up. Because you can't explain this. No. You can't explain this away. You couldn't explain it in Sandy Hook. You can't explain it here. Keep your stuff to yourself. I don't care what you think. Back off me. I don't care.
The Orlando attack has mobilized Americans and quickly become a campaign and presidential legacy issue. In response to persistent criticism that he does not verbally define Islamic terrorism, Mr. Obama today said this.
There's not been a moment in my 7.5 years as president where we have not been able to pursue a strategy because we didn't use the label radical Islam. Not once has an advisor of mine said, man, if we really use that phrase, we're going to turn this whole thing around. Not once.
Here's what the president does not seem to understand. It is his job to lead the world against the jihad. By not even spelling out the precise danger, by using substitute wording for Islamic terrorism, he is sending a message that it's not really the fault of the Muslim world that this atrocious jihadist campaign has taken root. It's not really their fault. But here's the truth. If all the good Muslims in the world would unite against the jihad, it'd be wiped out in weeks. Are we clear? Now, the right-wing responsibility. There is too much gun crime in the USA, and high-powered weaponry is too easy to get. That's the fact. So let's deal with it. We all have the right to bear arms, but we don't have the right to buy and maintain mortars, even if you feel threatened by gangsters or a new world order. No bazookas, no Sherman tanks, no hand grenades. That's because the Second Amendment clearly states the government has a right to regulate militias made up of individuals. They have that right in the name of public safety. Therefore, Congress should debate what kind of weapons should be available for public sale. And the states, the individual states, should decide what kind of carry laws are good for their own people. New laws are definitely needed in the age of terrorism and mass murder. The FBI and other federal agencies need the power to stop suspected terrorists or other evildoers from buying weapons. That law needs to be very precise. Also, gun dealers all across America should be required to report the sale of certain kinds of guns, heavy weapons, directly to the FBI. Not handguns, Not talking about that. But other weapons that would be defined by Congress. That is a sane approach and would make it a lot tougher for the Omar Mateen's of the world to get the weaponry to kill. Although, as Talking Points has stated many, many times, no society will ever stop all gun crimes, especially in a country which has hundreds of millions of guns already in circulation. Now back to ISIS. According to a study by the RAND Corporation, the number of Sunni jihadist Muslims doubled between 2010 and 2013, the prime years of President Obama's pullback or retreat in Iraq and the Middle East. Just since 2014, more than 1,000 human beings have been murdered by ISIS outside of their base areas in Syria and Iraq. While President Obama is content with wearing ISIS down and outsourcing the direct fight to others, that strategy is clearly leading to more death and disruptions all over the planet. But the left will not see that this is a war worth fighting.
After 9/11, we went to war in Iraq. We treated it as a military.
That was a mistake.
So why is this not a mistake to treat this as a military event?
We wouldn't be an occupier here. This is a war of attrition against a terror group. That's the same philosophy as the Nazis. It's the Third Reich. It's the same. There's no.
But how does that stop like a lone gunman here in the United States?
Doesn't. I told you, you can't stop it.
You can't stop it. So why are we going? Why would we then declare war based on this?
Because then, rather than outsourcing the fight against ISIS to the Kurds, NATO would do it. And NATO would then destroy command and control of ISIS, all right, and Al-Qaeda, destroy it. So there'd be, right now, guys like Mateen think ISIS is winning because they're on the internet and ISIS is telling them they're winning and ISIS is causing all kinds of trouble. Once the world sees that these people are being annihilated, and I mean annihilated, all right, that whole propaganda, we're winning the jihad, the caliphate, we're going to get this established, vanishes. By the way, we posted the entire interview with Colbert on BillO'Reilly.com. Just in time to prove my point, a new Fox News poll asked Americans if the USA is a stronger or weaker country under President Obama's leadership. The poll among registered voters is instructive. 49% say the USA is weaker since Mr. Obama took office. 40% stronger. Summing up, the Islamic Jihad has declared war on America and the West. We have not responded to their violence with any kind of urgency. We are reactive rather than aggressive. At home, we need tighter regulation of individual weapons of mass destruction. But we also need to stop demonizing good people who own guns for protection and want to keep their rights in place. Clear? Hope so. And that's a memo.